Welcome to Claris Talk AI. I am Matt Navarre. At the EngageU FileMaker conference in Malmö, Sweden, I recorded several short interviews, and please enjoy this one. Welcome to Claris Talk AI. Here we are live at the EngageU conference. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sirs.
Hi.
So we haven't talked in a really long time.
No, I think you've been busy interviewing more important people.
Oh, this is not true. I just haven't had a chance to get face to face with you.
No, that's true.
And then we have,
That's true.
famous conference organizer. We don't have your partner in crime, though. We'll have to do another episode.
Johan, yes.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the conference, but also about your sessions. I just came from yours. You had one yesterday on OData. You're talking about Claris Studio.
That's right.
Who wants to go first?
Well, we had a good interaction. So full room, a lot of excitement about the features, and the cool thing was having Wes. Powell in the back taking notes based on the reactions of.
I'm going to summarize a little bit because I was really excited.
Okay.
So you're showing some ETS features, unreleased features of Studio that are the things I've wanted since the beginning.
Yes.
Custom forms that you can have different segments that you can configure any way you want. I use Wix for my website design. Mm-hmm. It's very much like that. Wix kind of feels like FileMaker in a lot of ways, where you can just grab elements out, do it automatically resizes. Yeah. You can pick themes and colors. Yeah. And then the really cool thing that you were showing is how you can use calculations to get data from different places.
Exactly.
And do things that much more quickly than you could do in FileMaker.
Yes, it is, and so this is exactly the excitement I wanted to share. So I'm involved with the kitchen since early this year, and so I shared this the first time in Berlin, permission from
yes,
because then was still early, but I saw the excitement there, and that's what I also shared with Wes. Like, let me do this demo again, and just watch how people react. This is what FileMaker developers are looking for. So what's currently in production in the studio version is so limited that people feel like, nah, it's not for me, and we can totally turn that the other way just by showing what's coming.
I think it's going to be a very interesting and soon useful extension of FileMaker.
Yeah, so I believe that.
Yeah. I think what you showed is pretty
it's cool, right?
Strong. Yeah. But I also think you showed a lot of areas where it kind of needs work, like the little calculation thing and kind of the small windows. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like FileMaker earlier days.
Yes.
When you get a little teeny window to select your stuff and go, oh yeah, actually now there needs to be a window for full screen so you can select from your thousands of,
But this kind of things from the kitchen, my experience is you tell them to Wes, and like 2 weeks later you see already things improving there. They can do things pretty fast. They can move pretty fast in Studio. They have like the kind of liberty there that you don't feel in FileMaker iterations.
That's absolutely true. And because they can push it on their end, updates just come out with really good release notes that are actually also really fun to read.
These release notes are really
Whoever's writing has a sense of humor.
Yeah,
I like that.
Indeed. I like it a lot. So,
And then John, you've been preaching about OData, which you've been talking about for years apparently.
3 or 4 years. It's my favourite. If I was on Mastermind, it would be my specialist subject, shall we say.
So, and I don't know a ton about it. I haven't really had a chance to use it yet, but it's been really the buzz in the last couple of conferences about its ease of integration and its really fast speed and utility for a lot of other things. Give me your little spiel.
So what we did here was obviously in the brand new release of FileMaker Server, which has just come out literally a couple of weeks ago. There are brand new
21.1.
So 21.1. So this was the first opportunity for people to be at a conference where I could say, here's all the new stuff. We can just demo that it works. Now go away and play with it. So it's like a fast track to, here's what I need to look at. So it wasn't a how to use OData or anything like that. But the big driver now is that having announced that there is a future for OData in the platform, a change in how you can query the basic server with OData, but also internally, some stuff to do with Studio is that there's going to be some degree of connection between your FileMaker and your Studio using OData. So because Claris have worked out there's a use for it, then it will get lots of love and attention and things.
You brought up, I think there's something sort of in common with this, right? These are two areas that are getting love in FileMaker. This and the amazing chart feature that's built in that has had some, that hasn't had any application yet.
So the point about OData is the first big point is actually not what we can do in FileMaker. Anybody who knows OData can connect to our FileMaker server. So if you have a specialist in your business in Power BI that might have been connecting previously to SQL, they could just connect to your FileMaker data.
I'm coming for the job. Yeah.
We're recording video, so don't walk in front of it.
So so that's like, it's not just about what we
Hold
can
on.
do it.
All of our heads are cut off. Dang. I'm not sure when that started.
That's better.
Yeah.
So you query the data through an API call effectively, and there are some common elements between ODBC and SQL in the way that you write the queries. But what you get back is some JSON, and the advantage is you can query any file on any server as long as you have the right username and password information.
Yep, love that.
So there are really interesting use cases for both reading and writing with it.
What are the limitations in the payload for the JSON?
So there is a limit of 10,000 records is the maximum number of records you can query in one go, but it's
Get
paged.
the result of, you mean?
Yeah.
So you could query millions, I'm presuming.
You can query millions of records. You'll only get back 10,000 at a time.
Okay.
But like any other system that's paged,
Right.
you get a link to here's how to get the next,
got it.
the next set of records.
10,000's more than you'd want for most anything anyway.
So in the main, the systems I write, I'm working with 1 or 2 records max at a time. There are other people who have different use cases for it.
So querying data, what about like querying a script?
You can run a script. The difference is that when you're querying the data, you're just talking directly to the table occurrences and saying, can I have this from this?
Right. That's kind of
To run a script, it's more like a PSOS session because a script has to have a context and layout, so you're into what the data API will do when it runs a script and PSOS. So there are some performance downsides to doing that, but there are some advantages to things you can do by separating your systems. So I don't have to have my system full of external data links just so I can do a thing in another file. I can trigger a script in a third-party file just from OData.
So as I understand it, correct me, the authentication is also one of the things that's simpler. So like
Yes.
when you start the session, you send authentication credentials, and then from then on, you don't have to resend it?
No, you send the credentials every time.
Oh, every time, okay.
But the credentials are basic, so it's base 64 of the username and the password string. So it looks like a token.
Okay.
You're not actually sending the real username and password, you're sending
Okay.
base 64 string. But you just include that as a header in every call. So unlike the data API, where you have to get a token, store the token, reuse the token.
Yeah.
Here, you just every single call,
Simple credentials.
simple credentials.
Like an API call for any
It's
other type of
exactly,
API call.
it is exactly an API call to your FileMaker server.
What are the AI implications? I'm not ignoring you.
No.
But the AI implications, because I'm actually dying to know about that for Studio as well. So would you think that you would like query the data and then run AI on the stuff that you get, or would you like call something and have the AI stuff running on the server and then get the results of it, or have you?
So the issue here is it's a tool. So the problem is when we have a new tool, every problem looks, if you only have a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
None of us experience that in the FileMaker world, though.
No, never. But obviously the point there is, well, the answer to that is, well, both of those would be interesting use cases. The question is, what are you trying to do?
Right.
Where are you getting the data from? What do you want to do with the data that you brought back? So maybe running a script to run an AI query before you get the answer back, which obviously has a time delay, or bring the data back, run a query on it, do something else with it.
Okay.
So the issue is, here's a tool which enables you to do things. The question now is, so what are the use cases that you could think of for working with this as a so see it as a transport mechanism, not purely as the thing. Because you always, whenever you get any answer back from a web service, you have some JSON, you have to decide what do I do with the answer I've been given, where do I put the data, what do I do with it next. So the answer is, all of the above.
Yeah, okay. So it's not like an obvious best practice, it's like
Not yet.
whatever way, okay.
Because it's all new and people are just beginning to kind of... I speak to conferences and 60% of people have never even touched OData.
A couple of sessions I've seen about it, or demos I've seen, didn't make it look like the hello world was at all easy. Would you say that there's like a sample file that can make it ridiculously easy? It's like, call these 3 script steps and poof, you've got data to start? Like
Yes, but it's not documented well anywhere. There aren't lots of blog posts that are new. Maybe that's down to me to start writing some of those.
I would say yes. Would you say yes? Well, I think like demo files and videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, because that makes it, for me, that makes it really, really easy. And then also, of course, I use ChatGPT a lot to like, how do I get this? Because it's obviously a lot of text, query, and then to figure out what's going on with it and correct it and make it do what you need to.
So without wishing to just be a self-publicist, I have just done 5 sessions on Richard Carlton's training TV about OData as a proper, for people who've never touched it before, up to here's some things you can do.
Okay.
Obviously, clearly 5 hours is a lot of material, but it is in depth, I hope. To help people on the journey. So there are things in there that are proper examples you could replicate.
But you could get started in half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk about AI in Claris Studio.
Yes.
Because it hasn't really come up.
No, but there is the possibility, there's the promise of, we already can see that in the Claris Connect, Studio Connect. We will have in the future, the following iteration, we will have the ability to dynamically create hubs, create views using Claris Connect.
Okay.
And so it's something new for the Claris community.
That's for sure.
Being able to generate schema and generate layouts and UI on the fly.
Okay.
And that's where I feel the urge today, because I think the point in click era is almost over.
Yeah.
We will go to a new era where we just talk to you, you can build me this, and then we start pointing at it. And that's what I see. And with Studio, I totally believe that this will happen.
Yeah.
With FileMaker, not so much.
I don't know. I think actually there's a lot of things with FileMaker that's coming too.
There are
maybe not so much in like encoding in FileMaker.
There are AI features in FileMaker, but building a FileMaker solution using AI, I don't believe it's possible, because FileMaker, in my knowledge, still has no way of generating UI elements dynamically.
Yeah.
You have you have this XML and you have these XML patches.
Yeah.
But my impression is that it's still a struggle, that it's still not able to reach in every corner of FileMaker where you can go.
I guess my brain goes to like, what can you do right now within it, and then what calls can you make that actually do things that are really useful and
I
cool.
saw Todd Guys doing a demo a couple of weeks ago where he builds a script dynamically just by asking ChatGPT. And so he teaches ChatGPT how script XML works, and then ChatGPT can more or less generate a meaningful script XML and then copy paste that in a solution.
Which is, that's not as streamlined, right? But then there's some other tools that I think are coming. We'll have another discussion about that. And I'll actually, I think, doing screen sharing, because there's a really, really cool thing that I've seen really called simtheory.ai that might bridge the gap for a lot of this stuff. It's in super early alpha right now, but I think it's actually going to have a lot of answers. Yeah. So cool, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. Always great to talk.